This is an Emerson antique desk fan, 12-inch, and you can see it's model 79646 AU from 1949. Has the bullet back. And this fan is kind of interesting that the early Emersons, well, it is a single bearing Emerson. You can tell by how fat the shaft is. So it only has, like, it has a shaft inside that the motor spins on, and it lasts basically forever. But the early single bearing Emersons were like inductively started, and then in the 30s they ran a capacitor to start it. And this one, the first time I'd seen one of these, it has a shaded pole motor. Same basic thing that the General Electric pancake fans used back in the late 1890s and early 1900s. And so it has two wires going up into the motor, and it has little copper bands in the motor that start it in the correct direction. And it's also a little unusual. It's a little hard to tell from this angle, but there's 3 bolts that hold the cage onto the motor, where every other Emerson I've ever seen had 4. But anyway, and these motors are, the Emersons are normally wired as a 4-pole, and this is a 6-pole. And the 6-pole motors run a little bit slower, and they typically have 6 blades, but this is a 4-blade, 6-pole, and it runs quite quietly and smoothly, and nice, peaceful, slow turn. Anyway, so I kind of like these fans. I think the older ones look nicer, especially the ones with the fluted ornamental base. But this actually runs quite well. Has a die-cast aluminum base where the earlier ones were cast iron. But the motor is still cast iron, and it's built to a very high standard. So there's low, and it still has the adjustable knob on the back, that knurled knob where you can control how far back and forth it oscillates. And there's medium. So these fans tend to be rather inexpensive, but they're really very well made. They're still the kind of fan that could last a couple hundred years. I just got done servicing it. I tore it all apart. I had to change the head wire, this wire right here, because the old one was very hard, and the sheet metal cover on the back had started cutting through the wire. So when I put the wire in, I also put a rubber grommet in there. I think the original rubber grommet, and you got lost someplace along the line. I put new felt in the bottom of it, cleaned the switch, cleaned the bearings, cleaned everything. So it's a nice fan. Very quiet, very peaceful. So there it is. Look at like a 1949 Emerson. And the way you can tell the year is in the very bottom right corner it says 29, and you add 1920 to it, so it's a 1949. Anyway, there it is.